We're back in our sit room for our small, intimate talk. This week, I wanted us to reflect on the question, what are you carrying that was never assigned to you? So let's chew on that for a moment, because potential is not assignment. Passion is not permission. And maybe the next step isn't picking up something new. Maybe it's having the courage to put something down.
Yes. Wow.
So we're here this morning just to reflect on that question. So Angel, what do you think about that?
Deep. It's so deep. I always talk about how important audits are. It's so important to audit your life to see what's working and what's not working and how you can attribute to those things. Because sometimes we like to blame other people for what's not working in our life. But just simply as you put it, sometimes we pick up things that we were never meant to pick up, or we assign ourselves to things that we were never meant to carry out. And so that audit is important.
Yeah. And I love that, because I love audits. But it's an opportunity to, yes, audit your talents, right? Audit your passion, audit what you would like to get to, your potential. But it doesn't mean that this is the time or the season to pick up more.
That's right.
And when I reflect back on my life, when I think back to different opportunities, I always realize that there were so many benefits when God was placing something new in my hands. That means that I had to let go of something else, because if I tried to still carry the old with the new, I was getting burnt out. I was getting tired. I never had time to do anything. So can you think about a time where you just had to let go of something that you love doing, but it was just out of season?
And before I do that, there's such a powerful analogy. You can't receive anything with closed fists. If you're holding things in your hands, you cannot receive what God is trying to give you with your hands closed. And so it is so important to be able to let go when he says to let go and receive when he says to receive. And know that sometimes there might be a gap in between those two seasons. You might not have a trade-off. It might simply be release, wait, heal, recover, and then receive from God. I've had to do that. I am a jack of all trades. I can do anything I put my mind to, but that doesn't mean that I have to. It doesn't mean that I'm meant to do that in that season. So there's multiple things. I used to be a makeup artist. I used to make jewelry. I used to make phone cases. I used to do so many things, but then I also started to have assignment from the Lord. And that looked like I used to walk out discipleship with people. I still do walk out discipleship with people. I was accountability for people. And sometimes the Lord tells me, this is not the person you are to disciple. This is not the person you are to mentor. This is not the person. But because I have that passion within me, I'll ignore him. But I can do it, God. I have the strength. I have the capacity to do it. And it's not until I'm in the middle of doing it, I don't have the capacity to do it. And sometimes God telling you to release somebody is for your own protection. It's not him saying you're not capable. It means that this season is not your season to minister to that person.
I love that. I was just having a conversation with someone the other day that whenever someone is placed into our lives, it's so important to take a step back and pray. Who am I to this person and who are they to me? And that discernment will allow you not to pick up something or carry something that wasn't meant to be yours to carry. Because now when I do that, I'm able to really discern, who do I need to connect that person to? Because like you said, I may not be that person. I just may be that connector. I may be there to bridge the gap and give them access to what they need in this season. But if we're not careful, we'll try to take it on ourselves. And it doesn't mean that we are unable to do it. It's just that is not our season. We weren't assigned to that person, maybe other than just to introduce them to somebody else. There was a season where, yes, I did more coaching, but this is not that season. But God has surrounded and connected me to other coaches that I'm now able to point and direct that person to. And now I'm just able to check in with that person to make sure that they're doing okay, that they're progressing in the vision that God has placed on their heart.
Yeah. The most common place I see this happening is in relationship building. Especially in the faith. People want to be there to encourage. They want to be there to strengthen people's relationship with God. Sometimes your job is just to introduce them to God. And that's it. And so when you said that, it brought that to my mind. I had an incident with my friend. She wanted to walk somebody through like discipleship. She didn't have the capacity to do that. Her job was simply to show them Jesus and point them in the direction of somebody that had the capacity to walk that out with them. And we want to outwork God. We want to outwork God so bad.
And we can actually get in the way of someone getting closer to God because they want to connect to us individually. And that's why it's important sometimes to also point that person to someone else who is neutral and who will guide them closer in where they are in that particular moment. You know, and that's why I'm an advocate of what we do in this space because this is an opportunity to reflect, to audit. I love that. We don't have that opportunity to do that. We get so busy with our businesses, ministry, work, and dreams, and all of those things. And this is the season where it's time to audit. This is the season where it's time to just take a step back and reflect. Where am I?
Sometimes people think that having a long list of everything that I am, I'm a mom, I'm a wife, I have this business, I have this degree, I have this degree, and I also do this, sounds like I'm credible.
Wow.
Sometimes we put so much on our plate to make ourselves sound more credible than we are. Because wisdom is not to take on more than you can actually carry. But because we want to have these alphabets by our name and dress me as Dr. Such and Such. We get lost in that.
Yes. That is a powerful reflection because that is not wisdom. I focus more on how impactful can I be? How am I stewarding what God has asked me to carry, the vision that he has placed in my hands? Am I stewarding everything according to his will and not my way? And when I carry too much, I'm like, how did I get here? Because I looked back, I was afraid to say no. I had to learn how to let my no be more powerful than my yes.
Wow.
That's good. But that was, it was kind of like saying no. And I don't know where I learned that, but it was almost as if it was embedded in my brain that saying no was a negative. So I had to figure out in just reflecting, wow, I think that this makes me think back, and I love the reflection tool. But I had to realize that instead of just saying no, I would say, here's what I can do. Unfortunately, I'm not available to do this.
Good language.
But here is what I can do. And in thinking about it from that perspective, it opened up my brain to actually think about who is better suited at doing what the ask is versus me trying to overload. And that's where I really started valuing building teams and partners. And I had learned that early on in my career because at the place where I was working, this was very early on in my HR career, the CEO, he imparted to every leader within his organization that you could not get promoted. You could not even get the maximum annual increase if you did not demonstrate how you were able to effectively build teams and partnerships. Because that was at the forefront of his mind. Because if you're building teams and partnerships with your customers, now what? You're making sales.
Correct.
And not only making sales, but you're profitable. And if you say that you are a leader, then how are you demonstrating that you're building teams and partners before you get the title?
Wow. That's good.
before you could get promoted,
Yeah.
you had to demonstrate
Mhm.
proficiency
Mhm.
in that area.
Yeah.
So when it's time to say no,
Mhm.
I'm unable to do it,
Yeah.
I'm able to connect
That's so
them
good.
with someone who either has to learn
Yeah.
that skill. So it's kind of like you're giving them an opportunity to show their talent. Your gift will make room for you.
Mhm.
Or I will find someone who is equipped or who has the capacity
Yeah.
to be able to step in. So I'm not saying no and leaving them kind of trying to figure out
Mhm.
what it is that they need to do,
Mhm.
but it gives them an opportunity to do what? Build partnerships,
Yes.
build relationships
Yeah.
with someone else who has the capacity to do
Mhm.
it.
And it also protects you.
Yes.
And so that's such good language to
Yes.
use, not just no, but
Mhm.
let me. What did you say? What was the language you used?
Don't just say no. I say, here's what I can do.
That's
And
true.
in the can do, it's I can connect you
Yes.
with someone who is available. I can connect you
Mhm.
with someone who has talents in this specific area,
Yeah.
who is either learning or who needs an opportunity to actually put into action what they've already learned.
Mhm.
Right? So it gives someone else the opportunity
Mhm.
to utilize their gift
Yes.
in the capacity that's needed for that leader.
Mhm.
So I'm not saying no and just walking
Right.
away. It's giving them the opportunity to actually get the support that they need.
Yes.
It's just, I may not be the one to do it.
Correct.
And that's where, especially in the church, where 10% are doing 90% of the work, because I think that a lot of people are just like me, afraid to say no.
Mhm.
And it's just kind of shifting our
Yeah.
mindset a little bit around, don't just say no, say what it is that you can do.
Yes.
And that way it still supports that person. And if someone is constantly hearing no, 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 whether you're going on interviews and you're hearing no, I have HR background, we come up with acronyms, and I'm sure you've heard this before, but no, in my brain is an acronym for next opportunity.
That's wow.
So I like it. I don't say I like it,
Yeah.
but if I hear no, it's kind of like, okay, God, so you kept that door closed. Where's the next opportunity? Because if we shut down, if we stop in the no, then it's kind of like, but wait a second, that was practice for the next opportunity.
Yes, absolutely.
So it's really just around, when you think about things that we carry that was never assigned to us, sometimes it's the no. It's like we keep going back to that no. So I think that there's some reflection that may have to be done around, where have we been told no?
Yes.
Are we carrying the last no?
Wow.
And now that is a barrier to us actually moving forward.
Mm-hmm. And then it becomes our expectation that, I'm going to hear no. And then you know what? That's where learned hopelessness comes from.
Yes, that's what we were talking about in this room the last time, the learned hopelessness.
That's exactly where it comes from, the series of no. And I wish, honestly, if you don't get anything else from these videos, you'll get language. You'll get language for what you're going through. You'll get language on how to help your neighbor. Because when I was going through my season of no, I wish I would have had the lens of next opportunity. And I had to grow to understand. I believe that's what God was cultivating in me, to understand that I kept this door closed because you have something else. I mean, I give this analogy when I'm talking about that season. It felt like I was going through a hallway of locked doors.
Wow.
Every door I banged on, couldn't get in.
Wow.
And so I wish I had that perspective of next opportunity.
And that's the reason why we're opening up this space. And if you notice, even in the intro video, it's like you're going through that hallway, and then there's this open door.
Yes.
And we're opening up the door to you, as Angel just mentioned. If nothing else, you will get the language. Because part of formation is actually getting the language that you need, whether it's the cultural language or the workplace, the marketplace, or it's the favor language. There is a favor language that you know how to then be laser focused in your prayer. So when you think about, Lord, I thank you for that closed door. So now what is my next opportunity? It keeps you hopeful.
potential
Yes.
for the next. It keeps you in that mindset of there is something greater
Yeah.
than me carrying this no, whether it is from a relationship, whether it is from a job, whether it is in life.
Yeah.
You know, I can think about so many times where I was told no, but I see the blessing that came from me not getting stuck
Yeah.
in that no. People leaving. Okay, they said no. What is the next opportunity?
Yeah.
I can only imagine, you know, and as leaders, you know, I'm talking to any leader where you have people walking away and you can get stuck in the people that left.
Yes.
And you carry that fear of, well, I'm not going to allow anybody else to come in and get close because they're going to leave. That is something that you're carrying that was never assigned to you, because as a leader, we all have to do what? Steward other people.
Yes.
So we have to let go. We can't carry that and be able to say, well, Lord, I thank you, because maybe I didn't even see what it was that you were trying to protect me from. So Lord, I thank you for the people that are going to come, but show me.
Yes.
What is it? Is there a learned hopelessness that I'm carrying that I need to let go of? Are there self-limiting beliefs that I'm carrying that I need to let go of? What is the language that even in my prayer is keeping those doors closed?
Good. Jesus.
And that's why it's like, when we have these conversations, you get to see, I get to see me in the language that you're speaking.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow.
We can't continue to gloss over the problem,
Yeah.
the root problem. People are making these workshops, they're making these coaching sessions, but they're getting people just to the brink of breakthrough, but glossing over the hard parts. And so I think it's important that we dig.
Yes. And I love how you put that. Let's get to the root.
Yes.
Because if we can uproot what is no longer serving you, then we can keep moving forward.
Exactly.
And then if you uproot some things, then it's when you're faced with that situation again, it can't take root. You could be like, I've seen this before.
That's good.
I know how to handle.
Yeah.
And maybe if you don't know how to handle it, you will remember the person that you heard something from, and now you're reaching out to the person who will prevent you from spiraling.
Yes.
Because oftentimes we can reach out to what's familiar,
but
they don't have the capacity to carry you out of the space of where you're about to spiral.
Wow.
And that's the reason why we have to get to a place where we don't allow our own, I don't want to say pride, but it is pride.
It is, yeah.
I'm trying to be nice.
No, we gotta dig.
We don't allow our pride to not prevent us from pointing to really helping someone. Let's start to really not look at me.
I think the reason people get caught up in me is because we have a fractured sense of self. That if they can thank me for doing this for them, that'll put a piece of me back in, but it won't. We have to really get to what is my sense of self that is stopping me from stewarding the people God gave me and pointing them the direction of people that can actually help. It goes along with, we try to take on so much more than we can actually bear. Just to try to place something inside of us. So when you said, show me, we have to look in that mirror and we have to get so uncomfortable with what we see. And uncomfortable, we have to be uncomfortable in asking for help. You have to do it uncomfortable.
And the best time is when we're tired. When we're tired, those are the times to actually audit, actually reflect on what is it that was not placed in my hands to carry, that was never assigned to me, but I've been trying to carry it because I am passionate. I have a heart for people. But then you don't even have the capacity to help them really get to the root of what the problem is. At times we have to take a step back. And that's where, when we're looking at our vision, starting from the beginning of this year, there's a lot of talk about strategy, and strategy is a big piece of it. But you can't look at strategy without looking at the infrastructure. And it starts out with looking at the infrastructure of ourself. what do we have the capacity in this season to carry?
Yeah.
And wherever there's a gap, now that becomes what you're praying for.
Yeah. Wow.
Lord, I need you to send me someone who can help with X, Y, and Z,
Yeah.
whatever that pattern is.
Mhm.
Those are those moments where we're able to not just look at what the vision is, but where are there gaps in my infrastructure?
Mhm.
And sometimes it starts out with just us.
Yeah.
And that's
Yeah.
where formation fits in that gap,
Yeah.
because you're able to take a look at, okay, so this is my responsibility to carry, right? This is what the vision that's in me.
Mhm.
Now, how can I be responsible in this season?
Mm.
First, what is it that I need to understand about me first?
Mhm.
Maybe sometimes it's patience. Maybe sometimes it's long suffering in that wait.
Yeah.
We have
Maybe
to
sometimes it's offense.
Ooh, conflict. Ooh.
I mean, maybe
Yeah.
because the enemy gets you stuck in offense.
Mhm.
When somebody, because God can send you the people,
Mhm.
and they can say, "Hey, I think you should do this way," but we'll get offended. How are you going to tell me what I'm supposed to do? God gave me this vision. He didn't give it to you, but God will send people to wholly correct you, so that you don't give any new scars.
And we talked about in our last conversation was around the story about when God sent the boat
Yeah,
out.
I said times.
3 times. He sent a boat to help this man.
Yes.
And each time, because why? It didn't look like what he
Mhm.
wanted. It wasn't familiar.
Mm-mm.
So sometimes I can speak for me. I don't like to speak for others.
Mhm.
But whenever, and it goes back to what we said a few minutes ago, whenever someone comes, it's almost like, how in scripture they talk about friend or foe. And like,
Yeah.
and that's where the conversation, I get off text. The first time if I'm introduced to someone via text,
Mhm.
I'm like, when are you available for a phone call?
Yeah.
I take it, I know it irks you, but
It's fine. The Lord is still working on me.
Yes, but this is why sometimes I know growing up, we didn't have all of this equipment. You told someone what time to call you, and they called you on your house phone.
Yes,
Yes, we had house phones.
Mhm.
And that was when you talked,
Yeah.
right? And I'm bringing that back where when you have that conversation, you're able to determine, okay, who sent you?
Yes.
Are you friend or foe? And then you move to that next step of, okay, so what am I supposed to be to you and what are you to me?
Wow.
That discernment comes. That's why we try to always have like tea and little bites. Something happens over a meal and conversation.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So we're bringing that back.
Yeah.
So that way people can no longer be stuck.
Mhm.
When we chew on
Yeah.
this topic, it's so rich.
Yes, absolutely.
There's so many opportunities to really think about, where am I at?
Yeah, literally. Yeah.
What else do I need to reflect on? Have I assigned my potential to an area I wasn't meant to carry? Have I taken my passion and maybe launched out into the deep and now I'm drowning?
It happens. It happens. Yeah.
Because all of those things are great, but if this is not the season,
Mhm.
or if your passion became your job or your business,
Wow.
and there's no fruit,
Wow.
we have to measure that.
Yeah.
Because everything we can do an audit, but at the outcome of that audit has to be a fruit assessment.
Yes.
And if there's no fruit, and you've been doing it for a year, 2 years, 3 years, you need to kind of partner with someone and say, I need an objective lens to take a look at what you should be doing. So I think that's kind of the gist of what we wanted to really talk about. But before I let everyone go, I wanted to share something. Formation isn't about adding more to your plate. It's about becoming the kind of leader who knows what belongs on that plate.
Wow.
So every week we're going to have conversations right here, and watching virtual is good. But there's something that happens, and I hope you are able to see that, but something happens when you're in the room, in person, at an actual table that doesn't happen through the screen. And that's why we're opening up Formation Live Sit, small intimate talks, and Formation Live Unpacked episodes for you to experience it here in the room, right here in Fayetteville at Holiday Empowerment. And there's so many beautiful spaces that are just waiting for you. What happens is that we listen, we talk, and then we turn the cameras off and open up the table for real conversation. We answer your questions about your vision and speak into what you're carrying. And of course, we'll have some food. So like, follow, and subscribe, because we'll be dropping the links for you to register to attend. You know, I can't guarantee much, but I'm here to tell you that the conversations that happen in these rooms are different. It's the kind of thing that you'll go home and think about for days. Mm-hmm. So we thank you for joining us for today's small intimate talk, our sit, and we look forward to seeing you again next week. Yay. See you soon.